All right, the Gata Negrra, everyone. Hey, give me here an applause for the Gata Negrra. Come on. All right. If you're not here, you're not going to win. We're going to go to the next. 3, 4, 9, 1, 6, 2, 4. 3, 4, 9, 1, 6, 2, 4.
On the next one.
1, 6, 2, 4. Going once. Going twice. Sorry. Enjoy, everyone. Enjoy. Embrace the MCon Anime Fest goodness. Sweet goodness.
Alright, testing, we go down.
Check. Hi.
Get a little closer.
A little closer. Not a one.
That way they can hear.
There are children here.
They can hear. Make light to the mic.
Make light. Okay.
Alright, everybody. Welcome to the MCon 2018 8th Annual. This is Mark Torres with Came from the Radio, the official of the Big Apple Con. We have a show here every month downstairs, every Wednesday. We also are a syndicated radio show. And we interview people, as we did earlier today. We had a Q&A. And now we have a fine young lady sitting next to me who is an amazing performer. I've seen her sing, I've seen her dance. She's actually been a guest on our show. She's been interviewed. It's Gata Negrra.
Hi, I'm the Gata Negrra.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay. What do you want?
What is the Gata Negrra?
What is the Gata?
What is it? Not who is. What is?
The Black Cat. So,
when you decided to become the Black Cat, was it when you were a young little kitten, or was it something that came along?
A gatita. Yeah. No. It was an evolutionary process. I don't know if you're familiar with totem animals. The black cat is my totem animal in two forms.
Okay.
A melanistic jaguar and a domestic black cat. So, I kind of had a dream that basically encouraged me to embrace fully, who I was, because ever since I was little, somebody was calling me some form of feline, and I said, okay. Because I had gotten to the point where I really wanted to reinvent myself, and I was like feeling like I needed to do something truthful, live my truth. And I had that dream, and then I says, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go take the plunge. And I embraced the Gata Negrra as the stage name, but my legal name is Gata Pantera Negra.
Oh, wow. So when you decided to embark on this journey of, what would you call it? Musical dance?
Journey.
Musical baptism. There you go.
Okay.
So when you decided to do this, how old were you when you decided that you wanted to be a performer?
Oh, wow. Probably very early on, like single digits.
Single digits.
Yeah, my dad was sort of a big influence on me because he was a front man for a couple of bands.
Really?
Yeah, he grew up like he was not best friends, but they was like tight with George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic. So yeah. He could have been in the band, but he decided he didn't want to do it. So, but he had a group called the Supremes, and George had the Parliaments. So, they kind of both grew up in Newark.
Right.
And yeah. So with him, being into music and also art, because he used to be a really good artist and painter, he kind of rubbed off on me. So, it's literally the family business. It's what I'm doing.
So with the family business that you are a performer, how did you decide what type of music you would be performing? Because you have a unique style to you.
You think so?
I think so. You don't think so?
Well,
I've
know
never
it's-
heard anything like it before.
Really?
Yeah, I thought
Oh
you're
my
pretty
gosh,
good.
okay.
I think she's blushing. That's very difficult to do.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let's see. Well, actually, I love a lot of different music. I love rock. I'm a rock chick. I admit it. Rock, hip hop, dance, even stuff from belly dance music and things like that. You know,
Yeah,
I just
a little bit of everything.
yeah. So except country.
What do you got against the country?
I don't like it. I never did. You know, but I decided, you know, because I'm not that great at singing, you know.
I disagree.
It's not my forte, but how I became, you know, like involved in hip hop was like, I don't know, I just started doing hip hop dance, and somebody said to me, well, guess what? You can't rap. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I started doing.
If you cannot do it, then you do it.
Yeah, it's like you can't do this. You can't. I was like, okay. So I went and started writing. That's how I learned. I mean, people will like say to me, "Can you do a freestyle?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Why not?" I says, "Because I did not learn that way. You know, how I learned was to write." So it's just like anybody else's process when they sing. You know, if they're a singer-songwriter, they write their songs. So that's pretty much my process. I always wrote. I never just went blah and, you know, came out with something brilliant. My brain moves too fast.
So I know you have CDs, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have how many albums, different albums? Just one?
I have 2 albums.
You have 2 albums. So how long does it take to make an album start to finish?
It depends. The first album, Gata City, was made over the course of 6 months. We took our time with that one, I think. But the second album, Prowl, was made in more like 3 months. You know, it was rushed, admittedly so, because we were trying to my brother is the producer on the album, and he was going to go back to Atlanta at the end of the summer. So we were trying to like record everything, with some stuff even being written the same day. Written and recorded the same day, so it was crazy. But I think we kind of pulled it off. You know, the second album is a lot of fun. And there was at least one track that I had to remove because of some legal issue, but that one, before we removed it, was easily my favorite, you know.
So how does the creative writing process go? Let's say you wanted to write a song about, do you pick the subject first? Do you just see what comes along? It's like, oh, I can write a song about that?
It depends. Like with this album, he would give me a beat, and I would listen to it, and whatever would come from, you know, whatever it felt like, I would just write whatever. But then sometimes I might think of a line that I just like and write around that, you know. There's a song on the second album called, there's a group called Black Girls Are Kawaii, so the song is called BGAK, and that was actually inspired from the whole between Black Lives Matter and the I Love My Hair thing, you know, that was a big deal. So it was kind of a affirming thing for, you know, Black girls and Black women. You know, we are kawaii. You know, we can do this, because there are a lot of people who think we can't, but we can. So that was my assertion to the world. So that was my inspiration for that particular song.
Do you find that you're more motivated whenever anybody says that you cannot do something? Because that's the second time you've mentioned that somebody says you can't, and then you're like, I can.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is a running theme in my life, you know.
So I say you can't make $1 million.
Okay, I'll try and find a way to do it somehow. I don't know how, but I'll try.
On a technical side, what kind of recording equipment do you use for those people who want to do that type of thing?
It is a sort of elaborate. Well, it's not my equipment, obviously. Like,
Do you like go to a studio? Do you have your own personal equipment? Do you make your own at-home studio?
The family has a basement studio. Darkroom Studios, it's called, actually. The running line is come in and get developed, you know, but I know, right?
That's funny.
So it's like, you know, a Mac with a DAW. I think we're using Logic right now, Logic 10. Bit of a recording desk, you know, really good microphone, and, you know, we just get down there and like just start doing things. You know, keyboards and, you know, beat machines and stuff. Very cool.
So MCon, usually the target audience here is usually preteens.
Mm-hmm.
So would you consider yourself a role model to the younger generation? And if so, what advice would you be like, hey, you can be the next Gata Negrra?
I would not tell them to be the next Gata Negrra. I would tell them to be the next them. That's the important thing. You know, you have to find whatever it is that you do and do it well. You know, especially if you love it. If you love it, that makes you excel that much more. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't say role model, but I know better than that because, you know, kids will look at you and go, okay, she did it.
You have a presence. You have a presence. You're a good performer.
Thank
right
you.
there, that's already 2 steps into being a role model of somebody.
I mean, CADMA. So yeah, I would just encourage them to listen to their voice and do what it is that they want to do, and never let anybody hide their lights under a bushel.
Okay.
You know.
So can I put you on the spot and ask you to give me a couple of lyrics?
No. I knew you were going to do that at some point. No.
No? All right, fair enough.
Since I'm like laughing right now, it's
fair
not
enough.
gonna come out good.
So in your act, you have 2 backup dancers.
Usually, yes.
So how do you find your backup dancers? How do you find, did you like put an ad in Craigslist and say no axe murderers allowed?
Don't even get me started, okay? At one point, it was such a struggle to find a replacement dancer. We had a guy, for some reason, Peace, who is...
A man, Peace.
Yes.
Shout out.
He dances for me. So that's a built-in dancer, obviously, because he lives at home.
That's good.
So...
I don't know how to feel about that last
So technically, he's been dancing in, you know, groups I've been involved in for many, many years.
Right.
You know, so I know what he's capable of. So he kept, at one point, for some reason, he kept finding dancers at, of all places, Walgreens. I don't know how that happened.
There was a dancer section.
I was like, how do you keep finding these guys at Walgreens? What are they doing? You know, so the second guy, yeah, we really liked him, and he had to move to go to school, so we were screwed.
Okay.
So then, this is where the painful, excruciating Craigslist
You did do
Odyssey
Craigslist, see?
started.
No axe murderers allowed.
No axe murderers, no. But, oh man, it was a nightmare. I mean, I was getting people who were, it was hilarious. I was getting people who were way out of the league that I was looking for. I mean, I'm talking like Janet Jackson level dancers, and I'm going, I can't afford you. Okay, I can't afford you, you know. But it was, and then when you would get like a modern dancer, contemporary dancer,
Right.
and I'm like, are you serious right now? And then you would get a guy whose friend taped him at the club, and it's like he's doing like a really horrible Michael Jackson impression, and you're like, okay, I can't. So he had a friend who was a dancer, and we grabbed him. Finally, we convinced him to do it. So he was doing it with us for a while. Once he started offering to pay people, you know, it was like, okay, I want to do it. Like, yeah, okay. But we tend to treat our dancers like family. So we adopt every one of them, you know, basically.
So on the same lines, when you make the song, do you actually think of the dance moves that go along with the song, or does that come later?
When I'm writing it?
No, you're making a song like, oh, they should do this move with this lyric, or does that come after the song is already made?
Well, when, like, you know, I hear a song and the lyrics are there, because, you know, the lyrics, I think, are really important to the choreography sometimes because of the musicality of the thing. But during the process of writing, I might, think, oh, wow, that feels like that might look really good there, or, but usually when the song's finished is when, you start like thinking up moves. But truthfully, we just let them loose and let them do whatever it is they want to do, most of the time.
Well, because I have seen you perform, and to me it appeared as if you had that down pat, coordinated, 100%.
Sometimes we do. Most of it, though, is
Seat of the pants?
seat of the pants. I was just about to say that. Get out of my head. Literally by the seat of the pants.
So, what is next for La Gata Negrra?
Well, currently trying to promote the second album, Prowl, which I'm very happy to have had done because I stayed away a little too long. But one thing I'm hoping to do is put music out more frequently. So, my brother's coming up for the summer, I think. So we're going to work on some more stuff. And maybe we'll have something by next year, I hope. Maybe sooner.
So, for a musician, is it the fact that you make that one song that's iconic throughout your lifetime, or is it something that you want to be constantly working, making new material? Because a lot of singers, they have that one song they made, 20, 30 years ago, and they want people to hear the new stuff, but they want to hear that old song.
Right.
So is that the goal for a musician, to be like the one song, or just the embodiment of all the work?
I think you would want to do both. I mean, you do want to make your mark with something significant, like one song, but you don't want to be defined by that one song. You want to do more, expand your musical horizons, as it were. You want to, I know in my case, I'd like to be known for different things, different styles. I've warned people from the beginning, you may not know what to expect from me. Don't get used to this one thing because it might switch up later. It's a risk with the branding, but if it's still me and they know it's me, because like a lot of bands will get accused of selling out because they decide to take a different direction. Right. But that was because they let their audience decide what their brand was instead of making it clear from the beginning, this is what we are, deal with it, And I've been doing that since the beginning, because I don't want to dilute my brand. I just want them to know that I have several facets, and you might find anything from me at this point. But I think in a way it kind of speaks for itself when you listen to the albums, because they're all over the place.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention your outfit, and I guess it's your signature, because you do have a very bold outfit, and it has changed. I've seen different, it's a little different, but it's still under that same thing. So how did that come into play? Did you just sit down one day, I'm going to go for a little more flair, I'm going to go with the ears, I'm going to go, because you said it's part of your spirit animal. Was that part of the process?
Yeah, definitely. Wearing the ears, the neko mimi. Sometimes I will build outfits around a pair of ears, but, that was the thing. I wanted to, project the cat girl, so, I have to find clothes that work around pieces, like the the leg warmers with the claws and everything, But the style is influenced heavily by, Japan street style. That's a big part of it. Old school punk, hip hop culture, obviously. I take bits and pieces from everywhere and throw it together and hope it sticks.
Did you find that the anime explosion that happened, I would say 10, 20 years ago, was beneficial to you, or do you think you would have done it anyway and then you would have been the trendsetter?
I would have done it anyway because that's what I, really feel. That was a genuine, thing for me, being influenced by anime characters and everything with the big hair and, the clothes and the posing. I would have done it anyway, even if it hadn't exploded over here, just because it's something I like.
Now, I gotta also mention that as a black woman into anime,
that's a small subculture. Like, do you get any backlash for that?
Every once in a while, someone will come at me with the A word, appropriation, but I'm like, no. I usually end up explaining to people that, however minuscule it is in my background. So, I've always just, and it's animation, for God's sake, and I was always raised to appreciate Asian culture and the food and, the language. So I don't feel like I'm appropriating, If it didn't feel genuine, I probably wouldn't do it. No, I definitely would not do it. If it didn't resonate with me, it's not happening.
All right, and you do sing in both English and Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm. Some Spanish too.
Some Spanish too. I don't remember
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I got a song. Well, some of it, is in Spanish, but not a lot of Spanish because my Spanish is rusty.
No es bueno.
No es bueno. I got a song on the new album, Yo Puedo y Tú No. So, my mom was, really happy to hear that for some reason. That and there's a song called Salvage the Run with the tagline being Prométeme. So she was like, what? You're doing this now? I'm like, hey, I was doing it before. You just weren't paying attention.
So I know that when a person sings a song in two different languages, sometimes the words don't actually match the translation. They have to change it to fit in with the tune. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've also had to deal with? Because you would think it sounds good one way, but then when you do the translation, it doesn't sound good the other way.
Not necessarily. I mean, there are things that I kind of went, okay, do I really want to use that word here? And then I would research it and see if it actually felt right, and then I'll go, okay, let's use that. There's not a lot of one or I did really actually want to do my album over in Spanish just because. For no reason whatsoever. I just wanted to do it, to see if it would, sound good that way. If I found somebody that could actually translate the lyrics into something that sounds something like what's already there,
right.
Exactly what you're talking about. But, you don't want it to deviate too far from what the song is supposed to be about. But that would be one thing I would like to do, so.
So since you have 3 different languages, do you think in those languages at the time you get the information coming in? Like you see something like, oh, this will be better as a Spanish song, this will be better as a Japanese song, this will be better as an English song.
It's again with the whole, piecing things together concept, being influenced by everything. So this is literally some sort of hodgepodge that, I'm putting together. So, throw it and shake it up and yeah, there it is.
So it's you're like a tossed salad.
Tossed salad. Milkshake. Assorted nuts. I don't know.
Where can people find your stuff?
Okay, so...
Website?
My website is thegatanegrra.net. I have music on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, Deezer. I don't even know if people have that. Rhapsody. Anywhere you can find a digital, music, it's probably there.
And do you have performances on a YouTube channel? Or is there places where people can see
I do have a YouTube, yeah. YouTube, the Gata Negrra, youtube.com. There's some performances that I've gathered from people who might have, filmed it. So they're really crazy, but there's some that somebody might have filmed for me and said, okay, here's the footage. There's a music video. Presently I only have one music video. I'm planning on making more because, geez, my YouTube game is not up to par, but I'm working on it.
And are you going to be performing any places anytime soon?
My next appearance will be at Toshokan in East Orange, New Jersey. It's a library con much like this.
And when is that?
June 16th.
All right. So what advice can you give to the youth out there that's either watching us on this is going to be on us, can you give out to people, or people who are actually here, those guys right there, the people in the back? What advice can you give to them
As far as just
in-
any advice, period.
Well, as a performer, it's. I would say to be genuine because that seems
that
to be your
is
theme.
definitely one thing I think people need to. That would be one thing I really would say. Yes, be genuine. Be you. Don't try to be the next whomever. Try to be the best you that you can be, and get everything in writing. Get everything
Really?
in
So
writing.
all right. So what? Can we elaborate on that? Cause
No, I'm just saying you have to protect your brand. You definitely have to protect your intellectual property, and when you get your agreements going, you definitely have to make sure that it's in writing because somebody can renege on what you agreed upon verbally, and you could lose a lot. Read it and then read everything 3 times and then read it more than 3 times, just so you understand what's going on, because if you don't, you will end up in a situation that you probably don't want to be in.
So is it more important to do the legalese stuff before you decide to present your character to the world?
I have
Or is
learned,
that-
I've learned that the legal stuff is important. It is a part of, your brand's foundation. If you don't have that sorted out, you pile everything on top of that, and somebody, knocks your legal, the rest of it's going to fall down. So if you do not have that completely tight, then you stand to, just have, it could get taken away from you. You don't want to risk that at all.
So at what point do you think a person would go from we're just friends hanging out making music to this is serious, we should get down to legalese and all that other stuff that nobody really wants to talk about, but it's very important to do?
I mean, it depends on whether or not you're a hobbyist or if you're somebody who's really serious about what you're doing.
Well, at what point in time is that for? Is that an individual journey, or is it something that you say, all right, at a point where you have 4 or 5 songs down the line, then you should start getting serious, or before you have that first track down, you should start getting serious?
When you write a song, period, if you really don't want anybody to infringe upon it, you probably should get it copyrighted. Technically, like when you write it, it's yours already, but it's good to have it, on a record that, yeah, this is mine, and nobody's going to encroach upon this.
All right, so we're almost out of time. Is there any questions from the audience? Let's make sure we get any questions from the audience. Going once, going twice? No question? All right, just want to make sure.
Cool. And somebody goes, I have a question.
Yeah, you got a question?
I want to know, like, when your third
She wants to know.
album, since
When a third
everything
album, since everything
is very cat-like, what
is
would
very
you
cat-like.
name your third album?
What is the third album going to be called? Very
I
cat-like.
think someone gave me the idea, even though I think I'd already gone here. They want me to do 9 lives. So I may do that, something along that lines. So
Since you are the Black Cat, do you have a beef with Snoop Dogg?
no. No. That would be horrible.
Well, you have to have some type of rap battle
Oh,
against
no.
somebody, and he would be the guy.
No. No. I've never been that person, actually. I never understood. Well, I get battling. I get it, but it's not something I choose to do. If somebody has beef with me, that's their problem. It's not mine.
Collab with Snoop.
A collab with
Oh,
Snoop
God, that would
Dogg.
be scary.
You could call it Raining Cats and Dogs,
No, nice.
and you use the rain, REIGN. It's rain.
Nice.
Yeah, see?
You should see who does the marketing. You do the marketing. It's brilliant.
So we're gonna be here for the rest of the day today. You have prints for sale, right?
I have albums
else
for
you have?
sale. I got T-shirts. I got posters.
Posters.
What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so guys, make sure you check out her table. Make sure you check out her website. Make sure you buy her stuff. Make sure you check her out on YouTube and all the other social medias. What's your Twitter and Facebook? Same thing?
Facebook is the Gata Negrra. I do not have a Twitter right now. I know. I'll explain why eventually. I had a Twitter, but I don't have it now.
Okay.
Instagram is the Gata Negrra with underscores separating the Gata and Negra.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being our guest once again.
Thank you for having me.
You said that July. When's the next one? You're gonna be
June
June
16th.
16th in
East Orange, New Jersey.
East Orange, New Jersey.
East
Is like a
Orange
website?
Public Library.
East Orange Public Library. So make sure you guys check her out. And I want to thank you for being here. And once again, Our Table, It Came From the Radio, live show every month here at the East Mills Public Library. We are a weekly syndicated radio show. Every week we have a new show on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Google Play Music. So thank you very much, and let's have a little round of applause.
Thanks. He's horrible.